Party people, what's going on? This is Samaj Marsh, the founder of BlueDeathValley.com. Guess what? We did it again. We're back. I know the odds in Vegas were saying that the sports books in Vegas were probably saying that we weren't coming back. We're going to get canceled before our next show. But we beat the odds, guys. Once again, I'm back with my two comrades, my partners in crime. First of all, legendary A&T wide receiver and Greensboro native, Dougie Fresh Brown. What's going on, Doug?
What's up, guys? What's up? Thanks for having me back, man. Aggie Pride.
Man, personally, bro, I didn't want to have you back. You cost too much money, but the fans demanded it. So I had to go in the budget and give you a couple of pennies raises. Hey, the people want you. They felt like you know what you're talking about. So thanks for coming back, man.
Come on now. We got to get the people what they want, man. We got to get the Aggies what they want. Aggie Nation, we love you.
Definitely. And of course, the heart and soul of the operation, man, the official A&T fan base ambassador. He's been talking about football longer than a lot of us have been on this planet. My main man,
this is true.
My main man, Craig Turner. What's going on, Craig?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Aggie Pride. Good to see you guys again. We're back again for another week. We didn't get canceled. That's all right.
I can't believe back at it. I can't. Hey, you know what, Craig? I heard a funny story. I don't know if it's true. Were you the original season ticket holder at Aggie Stadium? Were you one of the original season ticket holders?
Yeah, my name is up on the wall. Yeah.
Really? Somebody told me that. I didn't believe it. Really? Yep. I thought he was just joking. So you were one of the alumni,
original donors to help build Aggie Stadium, right?
Wow. That was back in what, 1982?
No, the drive started in 78 and it opened in 81.
And before that, they were playing at War Memorial Stadium.
Yeah. Played down in the Dust Bowl.
That's crazy. Right?
Hey, good stuff right there, man.
So he knows a little bit about what he's talking about. Right?
I've been through a few wars. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of everything out there. So yeah. It's been a long journey, and people would not even what we're seeing today out as far as A&T football is concerned. It's light years different from what it was when I was in school back in the 70s.
Well, I took a trip down memory lane earlier this week, and I went back to the archives and pulled up an old interview I did with we didn't mention his name last week, but I'm gonna say his name now, Coach Lee Fobbs, and it brought back some emotions. Hey, it brought back some emotions. But if you go to the website,
tears mostly, tears and headaches.
If you guys go to the website, we at the bottom of the homepage, we have a classic interview archive section, and we got a lot of former interviews with Coach Fobbs and a lot of other guys. Check that out. But Craig, let me start with you. You've been a pretty busy guy, one of the hardest working men in the Aggie Nation. Last week, you told us about your first installment of the 2021 season preview, and since we met, you hit us with two more. The tight ends, wide receivers was the first one, and then you came back with the front seven. Let's talk about that first part two actually, the wideouts and the tight ends.
Well, A&T, as far as the receivers are concerned, we're loaded. It is no other way to phrase it or no sense in trying to disguise it. We're loaded at wide receiver. We got size, we got speed, we got 4 tight ends. And I thought I hadn't seen 4 tight ends since the 80s.
You know what? But you know what?
Craig excited about those tight ends.
Yeah, because I noticed that Lockhart got our tight end, our starting tight end last year, the transfer from Navy. He got moved to the wideout. Unit.
Yeah.
So he's not even listed as a tight end anymore.
No, he's gone back to the wide receiver spot.
Yeah, that says a lot then. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a lot of recruiting over these last. Did some recruiting in 2020. Brought in 2, then we brought in a couple more since then. So the guy that's probably that everybody's going to be watching, the two guys that are going to stand, or three really that stand out, is going to be MJ Frazier. He's a 6'5", 245 transfer that came in here last year, and obviously we didn't play, so we didn't get to see him play too much. But he's a big kid. He's a big kid, very physical. Got good speed, great hands. He's gonna be tough. He's gonna be tough. The other tight end that everybody should become familiar with is Nicholas Dobson, or Nick Dobson. Nick comes from Watts Rose Hill High School down east.
Yep.
And he was a Shrine Bowler, so we know he can play. About 6'3", about 230, 235, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then we have one more kid that transferred in here from Asheville. Well, played at Asheville High School, transferred in from Morris Hill, from D2 Morris Hill. Good athlete, was all conference player up there. Kid by name of DeAndre Arnold Gaskin. I saw the film on him. The kid can play. 6'3", 235, and you talking about a truck in the open field. He's got speed. For a guy that big, he can move, and he's got hands. So we're pretty well stocked. We're pretty well stocked.
Let me ask you this, and Doug, you interject here. Are we even going to throw to the tight ends this year? Because you said all that, and it's, hey, listen, yes. I'm on board. You got to have somebody on the in that line, but we also got probably the most dynamic wide receiver core in the whole nation. So, Doug, you know,
Craig said it, man. Anytime you're talking wide receivers, man, you know you speaking my language, and these guys are talented, man. They're very talented. We got a bunch of pass catchers. You know, I don't know if we have enough balls to go around, like you said, Thriller, but we're gonna spread it around, and the tight ends will definitely be a part of the offense, man. Anytime you got a guy like Big 30 in the backfield, it's nice to incorporate those tight ends with some play action, some bootlegs, and some waggles, and we got a guy that can move and throw the ball from different platforms, you know, back there. So I expect the tight ends to be a big part of the offense. But, you know, those guys on the outside and those guys in the slot, man, they're going to be calling for it. Those guys have been competing. We'll talk more about guys like Mr. Corey Banks and, you know, Big Zach Leslie. We got some guys coming back that are going to command some attention on the outside and going to open up some lanes in there for our run game and those guys in the backfield. Hopefully open up some pass lanes too, you know?
Well, Craig, like I said, I actually got a chance to talk to Corey Banks this week, and go to the site, check out that interview. He's a real charismatic guy. But
hey, Big game Banks.
Yeah, he's money. He's money in the red zone.
He's
money. He's money.
And I mentioned during that interview and to him that he's always been slept on, but he and I both agree that he's poised to take that next step to become a household name. So,
Absolutely.
Craig, let's jump into it. Give me a little bit of this, a preview of what we got. Banks, we know about him. Tell me about some other guys, because it's a log jam, really. I mean, it is an embarrassment of riches at the wide receiver position for A&T this year.
Well, you mentioned before that Quinzel Lockhart has moved from tight end to where he was playing. He was playing H-back last year. Moved him to wide receiver. And really kind of putting him in that slot to see what he can do with E-Bell's old slot as a power wide receiver.
Okay.
The big guy, Zach Leslie. Zach is probably the most underrated guy I've ever seen. Everybody sleeps on him. Every single game, every team we play sleeps on this guy, and he burns it.
You're right. You know what? Corey Banks gets slept on, but I cannot forget grown man. I call him grown man football.
Grown man. Yeah.
He doesn't get a lot of attention either. You know, and all he does is make plays every damn week. So you got
plays.
Two guys on the outside who really don't command a lot of notoriety right now. I think that's going to change as the season goes. So we got Zach Leslie probably on one side. We got Corey Banks on the other. What about the interior? Because we're probably gonna go on 4 wide sometimes too, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Well, you'll see it, but it's gonna knowing Coach Barnett, he'll be real selective when he does that. Ron Hunt, Ron Hunt is so fast he can turn the lights out and be in bed before it gets dark. That guy is fast. He is fast.
He's only been here for what, 7 years, right? This is like his eighth year of eligibility.
Seems like he's always had some smart guy.
Yeah.
Always seemed to have a little nick injury or something come up. Got back late last year and got into the Celebration Bowl and
Called a touchdown.
He burned Alcorn's defensive safety bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
He's back. Then Taman Cook, who transferred in here from Marshall a couple years ago, and did some kickoff and punt duties last year, or 2019. I keep saying last year. We didn't play last year.
Mm-hmm.
But Cook can fly too. Cook is another guy that's got that kind of speed that that can really stretch the field and break it wide open. So there's a lot of guys. You got some freshmen coming in. Sterling Berghalter he's a man. That's the
guy I saw him about.
I saw him in spring, and he's scary good.
Oh yeah,
he is scary good.
The Cincinnati kid. The Cincinnati kid is what I call him.
He's tough.
Hey, time out. Easy on those nicknames.
No,
easy on those nicknames.
Hey, we're gonna talk about that.
Can we get the kid out there in a game first, man? Come on now.
Yeah, you got Jordan McDaniels. All these guys have been around. Been around this offense now, going on 3-4 years. So these guys are experienced. With the exception of Berghalter, all these guys have got plenty of game experience, and they've made their mark. They are route runners. They know what they need to do. They know where they're going. They're a quarterback's dream because they're going to get open. They're going to get separation. And it's going to be interesting to see if Big South, which is not really a passing league, see how they adjust to that. Because A&T is fast. And these guys are big, too.
Well, Doug, let me ask you this, though.
Don't leave out physical, man. I think these guys are one of the most physical bunches we've had. And I tell you what, if I'm Coach Poole, man, I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman. I'm excited because he's gonna have to find a way to get those guys on the field. We got Elijah Boyd coming in. We got Jamison. We got some young guys that are gonna make some noise and have a chance to get out there. And we know Coach is gonna put the best guys on the field. So good problems to have in a wide receiver room with depth, right? Anytime you got some depth, we'll take it.
Okay, now, Doug, give me here's a dose of truth serum for you, though. Okay, wide receivers by nature are not the most patient people on the planet. Is that fair to say, Craig?
Yeah, they can get pretty testy. They can get testy if the ball doesn't come their way too often.
That sounds about right.
So Doug, how do you manage all those big players and those big egos? How do you convince those guys that you might not get 15 targets every game? We got so many horses at every position. How does a receiver reconcile that and still bring his A game every play?
Well, I think first off, man, winning cures everything, and these guys are winners. Most of the guys on our roster, not just in our wide receiver group, these guys come from winning programs. And I mean, you look down the line, everybody's competed or played in state championships. So these guys understand the team aspect and they know what it's like to have their turn. So a lot of these guys get a chance to step up. You look at Corey Banks, he stepped in there. He came in, humble guy. When he got his chance to make a play, he stepped right in to make a play. And I noticed that our guys have always been cheerleaders for each other. Anytime somebody else makes a play, it's the next man down the field, next wide receiver down the field, congratulate him and make a play. And that's a cultural thing, man. These guys have been working hard together. These values have been instilled in these guys, and they play for each other. And that makes it easy, man. I'm sure there's a time or two when the guy wish it was him catching that touchdown pass, but most of these guys just go back to the drawing board, work hard in practice, and wait their turn. So when their number's called, they step up and make a play. So everybody wants to make a play on Saturdays, but it starts during the week. And every time I check these guys out, I see the guys working hard during the week and doing the things necessary to be ready when their number's called.
And one other thing, Coach Washington has always been real big on his guys buying into the team concept. You're not going to play at A&T, or you're not going to play for him if you're not team first. And the one thing I've always really enjoyed ever since Coach Broadway got here, and it's carried over into Coach Washington, our wide receivers block. These guys get downfield and clear out people. You want to know why Jermaine is getting 40, 50, 60-yard touchdown runs? People are being cleared out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's being done by those wide receivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I think we got a long line of history of blockers. Yeah, that's a staple as an A&T receiver since way back in the day. Back when we didn't pass the ball, you better block or you wouldn't be out there, right?
Hey,
that's the truth.
Because when you got there in 2002, Bill Hayes, you know what? I won't take that back. When in 2002, that's when Bill Hayes switched. The first year he switched from the wing tee, and he tried the spread.
Went to the spread, yeah. When I was getting recruited, Coach Hayes told me he was going to abandon the run game and go to the spread. Of course, I didn't believe it, but sure enough, we had a change in coaching on the coaching staff. Coach Gerber, who was the O coordinator at the time, moved on to a new coaching job.
Yeah.
And they brought in Coach Linwood Ferguson, who was a longtime defensive coordinator, orchestrator of the Blue Death. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Brought in Coach Ferg, man. That's my guy. Definitely a player's coach. And Coach Ferg came in, brought in the spread, and it was new to us. Mm-hmm. And we did what we could do. Definitely learned some things, and we had the talent. Didn't work out early on, but definitely saw some flashes. We were 8 deep at wide receiver then, with one of the better recruiting classes that we had come in, one of the better stable wide receivers in A&T history. Don't forget that. I put us right up there with some of the late 90 guys. Definitely some good guys played back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So definitely can't forget about my early 90s guys either, man. I got plenty of wide receivers, long history of blockers at A&T, man, as well as athletic pass catchers that may or may not have got a lot of looks.
That's true. You know what? And one last thought on that. I would feel a little less confident about the getting the ball to all the guys and there not being any egos. But you got to think about it. The last 3 games that we played in 2019, before the whole shutdown pandemic, we really just put up some major numbers offensively. Just go back to the Celebration Bowl. How many guys caught touchdown passes? I mean, it was like an Oprah TV show passing out cards, right? Everybody, right? And so, but prior to that, right, we had a big offensive explosion against Central, and that was a must-win game. Barnett dialed up a great game plan, got a lot of guys the ball. I mean, everybody was scoring. And the week before that, against Bethune-Cookman, another must-win game. We still put up 40-some points.
47.
47. Fowler threw a couple touchdowns. I mean, listen. I think Barnett has cracked the code, and he's figured out how to get this machine running and how to kind of keep everybody involved. So if anybody can get the egos in check and get everybody to buy in, definitely Coach Washington, and Barnett also, has shown to be able to do that. Right.
I agree.
But listen. So we talked about offense, but Craig, you had another drop this past week for your season preview, and a lot of guys, they still believe firmly, even with the new rules in place and how how the game is kind of shifted to the offensive side, that defense wins championships, right? And our site is called Blue Death Valley. Blue Death is about the defense, right? So tell me about this, your season, your part 3 of your season preview, where you talk about the front 7.
Well, defense does win championships, and if the other guy doesn't score, you can't lose. So defensively, we as far as that front seven, we talked about the secondary last week, but the front seven is going to be different. It's going to be a different looking front seven because we lost 3 down linemen out of our 4-man front. We've got I say 3 down linemen. I'm thinking 3 defensive tackles specifically,
Right.
as far as the depth part was concerned, not necessarily the starters per se.
Right.
We're strong on the outside, and we're covered at the ends with Devin Harrell and Jermaine McDaniel. Those 2 all-conference defensive ends. I mean, they're going to show up.
But do we have depth? I know those guys are studs, but do we have quality depth behind them?
Yeah, we brought in a couple of transfers, a couple of FBS transfers. Trey Love from East Carolina played a lot of minutes down at East Carolina, and was really, before he transferred, they had penciled him in as a starter. So it's going to be.
I'll take that.
So,
hey, another Greensboro kid too, out of Southeast.
Yeah, another all these Greensboro kids are coming home.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
Yeah, he's another guy that came in. Well, didn't come in, but another kid who we recruited a couple of years ago, and we redshirted him basically. He showed up in a couple 3 games. Janoris Robinson.
Remember that name?
I think he's going to be a star. 6'2", about 240, 245. He can run. I mean, he can run, as Coach said. But he can fly. He flies to the ball. He's a heavy hitter. He was just one of the better defensive players that came out of Florida and had a lot of offers. And we got him.
Love this film.
Got him away from South Florida because I think that's where he was really leaning towards before we entered the picture. So we got some players in there. The biggest thing,
he's got that nasty, Craig. I like he's just got that nasty to him. You know?
He plays with an attitude.
So we're gonna have some heat-seeking missiles on the outside. You know, I think McDaniels. I don't know if he was first team all-conference preseason, but he should be.
He was. He was picked. He was one of the 3 guys that were picked to the Big South.
When he was healthy, he got nicked up towards the end of the year. That's why I kind of mentioned the depth. But when he's healthy, I mean that first step, he has a couple of moves. He's not just a one-trick pony. Like he has.
Yeah, the off season, having that extra year off helped these. A lot of these guys are a lot bigger than what they were in 2019. They've bulked up.
I noticed that. I went by campus and I saw it. I was like, these guys are about 10, 15 pounds bigger per man.
They are. Yeah. They are. McDaniels, when he got here, he was playing around 225, soaking wet. Now he's around 240, 243, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, yeah, he's put on about 10 or 15 pounds. Same thing with Harold. Harold's pushing 250 now. So they're getting there.
And both those guys, man, have a tremendous motor. I think that's what sets them apart.
Yeah.
Those guys flat out get after it. And they're tough to stop on the edge, but they're strong enough to come inside and cause some havoc on the inside too. So
hey Doug,
you have those options.
You remember the Elon game last year? In that fourth quarter when McDaniels took over. Yeah.
McDaniels before Ruiz, McDaniels he took over.
He had that right tackle. I felt so bad for the kid because I mean, like every time he just took that move on him, he was already on the quarterback, and Elon was trying to make a little rally at that last quarter, and they couldn't get the ball off, and that was just our ends was collapsing. It was like
they went backwards. They went backwards to their own goal line. Man.
Right.
So
yeah.
That was just a snapshot of our potential, man. So.
Yeah, they held in. They started to hold in bats on that last series. They held their bats in to try to get some help on him. Hell, he went right past, split the difference between the two, and got to him anyway.
Okay, but so that's the outside. Those are the edge rushers. Mm-hmm. Talk about those big uglies. Okay, I'm talking about those space eaters. That 1 and that 3 technique. Who we got in the middle?
Well, we were fortunate this week to get Michael Branch cleared to play. Michael Branch is that nose tackle that you need, that big space heater in the middle. It's about 320, about 6 foot 6'1", about 320. He and Robert Pringle, who transferred here from Coastal Carolina.
Octavius Pringle, I think.
Octavius Pringle, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Octavius Pringle is a big kid that came in here from Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
Big space eater body, big run stoppers, both of them. So that's going to help us because I was a little concerned going into the summer that we were not quite big enough against teams that like to run the ball, especially teams that like to run that option play. But we're getting Branch back and putting him in there with Pringle. I think we're going to be fine there. Robert Porche transferred from Virginia Tech. Good ball player. Anxious to see what he can do.
Well, he's from a nice bloodline because his dad. If anybody wants,
all pro
in the NFL.
That always helps. It helps a little bit, you know.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Elijah Brown, another FBS transfer, and we got him from Duke of all places.
Okay,
Actually, we played against him when we played against Duke.
I'll take that.
Yeah. He played. I went back and looked at the tape of that, and he played against us in that ball game. So it's going to be interesting to see him step out there in blue and gold when we go back down to Durham in about 3 weeks or so. So 6'4", about 275, 280. So we've got some good components there. We're got good depth there. I think we can rotate in 8 guys without any problem. The biggest thing is how are they going to mesh, because it is, especially at the tackle spots, because they're all new.
Right.
With the exception of Branch, they're all new. But knowing if anybody's ever seen Coach Cord work a defensive line, I'd be afraid not to perform. He scares me. I'm standing there watching. He scares me.
Those guys really take on his demeanor, man, and his style and his way of play, man. He was an awesome player, awesome talent when he was in college, man. To see him transition into a coaching role, I mean, the guy's a winner too. He's won everywhere he's gone, along with the rest of the staff. But he'll have some options too, man. I think those guys will be able to be very active up front. They'll be able to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, cause some problems. They have a history of plugging guys in. There's been other times where we just weren't sure what we were going to do up front, man. And those guys, they work their magic, plug a guy in, and there's a new household name up front on our D line, because those guys make it happen, man. We year in and year out, we make our living stopping the run, and those guys do a fantastic job up front, man.
Yeah, I'm another player. One more player. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him. Shamari Wallace.
Yep, he's coming back.
Didn't play last year, but a couple of years ago, Shamari was a factor. He was a backup. He was a factor, but he played a lot of minutes, and he missed the 2019 season. But he's back this year, and the coaches are very high on him. So I expect he's going to be one of those starters when we step out on that field next week.
Well, see, just like every single year we have a guy in like the Justin Cates body frame or mold that comes in and just makes plays for us. He may be the unsung guy, but he's the guy that in the end we're counting on, and he just gets it done for us, man. So I'm looking forward to what those guys will be able to put together this year.
Let me ask you this, Doug. Do you anticipate us blitzing any more or less? I mean, I know we feel pretty good about our back end, but even with Cross, you told us about last week, and McNeil coming back, do you feel like we have to create pressure? We will have to manufacture more pressure with our scheme, or we can just kind of play everything straight up and let our guys.
Honestly, I think we'll be able to dial it up when we need to. For the most part, I think we're gonna stick to our guns and play our scheme, and it might be on a week-to-week basis that we draw up some different things to get after some quarterbacks and drop some pressure. But we'll definitely have some blitzes in the package to stop the run, because that's what we do, and some wrinkles to throw some teams off. But I expect us to come out and just play ball, man, play our scheme and get after guys. And I'll leave it up to the defensive experts to press the right buttons. But I'm sure those guys will come up with some big plays on that side of the ball, and some. We've had plenty of time to draw up some things with COVID, so I'm sure we got some things in us.
Unfortunately.
I hope to see some new blitzes from somewhere, man. But no, just kidding. These guys, man, know what they're doing on that side of the ball, and they're students of the game. Those guys are constantly learning and implementing new strategies, new techniques, new plays. So we'll see, man. That's something to look for down the road for sure.
Yeah.
Great.
You were talking about blitzes. I think we probably will blitz a little bit more, and not necessarily because we can't generate pass rush. We've got the best linebacking core we've ever had at A&T this year. I mean, seriously, this is the finest group of
hold 1 second. Craig, you know what? I gotta get like one of those Jamaican, those reggae bullhorns.
Okay.
Because every episode, this is the second time, he's always saying something that's a bombshell. So you're saying 2021, the linebacking core is the best you've seen?
Yeah. That's the best linebacker since I've been watching A&T football. This is the best linebacking core I have ever seen.
BJ Little, Sammy Rogers.
Hey,
come on now.
That's saying a lot. Now I will say I can see some similarities. There's some similarities.
I know they haven't played it down yet, but I'm gonna tell you, when you look at Keenan Howard and Jacob Roberts and Joseph Stuckey, those guys are money. I mean, they are scary good.
Look out for Stuckey, man. He's put on about 15 pounds. Stuckey is walking around looking like a middle linebacker.
So Stuckey's not playing that rover role per se anymore. He's going to be more in the just staying in the box.
There's no telling where Stuckey will be.
Really? Okay.
I don't know where they'll have Stuckey. Just know he's going to be wherever the ball is. That's why I'm looking at
that's good.
You better look under the bed tonight. He might be there.
Definitely.
I look for him in like a Wilder role. I see him being doing some of the things that Wilder did for us. I mean, when Wilder needed to step back and step back there on the hash for us, he did. When we needed him in the box, coming off the edge, whatever, and knocking heads off, as you say, including his own, so we'll take it. But look out for Stuckey, man.
And Craig, you mentioned Kyan Howard and geez Louise, I feel I'm gonna have to get him on here because I gotta give him a formal apology. When he first was, I think his sophomore year, when he first became the full-time starter, I think I put out somewhere that I was doubting his athleticism, and I thought we might take
Howard.
Listen.
No. Okay, I'm gonna listen. Then I'm gonna remind you.
I know. So
and then you know why you're not a coach.
He led the ECU game for the little bit of time that he got to play. When we sent him on the blitz, speaking of blitzes, when we sent the man on the blitz and he almost killed ECU's quarterback.
I understand. You know what?
Poor guy.
That's why
they kicked him out the game just because of how hard he hit the guy.
See, this is why people don't make apologies, because y'all don't accept them. I was getting to the point where I understood the error of my ways. And last year he humbled me. He proved me wrong. And I want to give him that acknowledgement because he is a baller. He, to me, in my humble opinion, is the heart and soul of that defense. He plays the Mike linebacker position, but him just like consistently, just like Stuckey. You want to find where he's at? Where's Waldo? The old book. If you want to find where Waldo is, find where the ball is, and he's right next to it. That's how Kyan Howard is. Yeah.
He's a playmaker. I mean, you think about the play he made at South Carolina State when he calls a fumble. I mean, he ran down the quarterback. And we're talking about a guy who's coming off, multiple knee injuries. He had the ACL coming out of high school. I think if it wasn't for that, he probably would have got a little more attention. But we were happy to get him, man. Another local guy. He's been good for high school,
Yeah,
and you talk about Jacob Roberts, man. Jacob.
Oh, the rookie. Wait, not the rookie no more.
Yeah, I got to give Coach credit for this. Coach called that one when the kid first showed up. He said, "Hey, watch out for this kid. He's gonna be special." And he's been nothing short of special. He's some similarities. Craig, you talked about some of those greats, man. You're talking about B.J. Little and a little bit of, dare I say it, Herbert Two-Shot Dixon. I mean, this guy can run. He get after the ball, man. So
that's a name. That's a name.
That's the mode I'm putting him in, man. He's got to finish it out. He's got a ways to go, a lot of football to play, but great young man, great attitude, does things the right way. So looking forward, his future is bright. I think his best football is definitely ahead of him.
And he's
Craig, go ahead.
Is he a Mallard Creek guy? Where's he from? Charlotte? What's
Mallard Creek.
Okay, so that says it all right there. I mean, that's probably one of the top 3-5 programs in a state consistently.
And, the reason why I said that this is the best linebacking core is because they got depth. Because after you get those three, then you go look at your depth chart. You got Angus, what's his name? Alex Angus that came in.
Fumba.
You got Fumba. Yeah.
Fumba. You got Fumba. You got Angus.
That guy. Yeah.
The kid from ECU that transferred here this summer. You got Taquan King, who's everything coming out of the state of South Carolina. Didn't play in 2019. He's in there this year.
He's a big kid.
He looks good. He looks good in shoulder pads, I tell you.
He's a big kid, man. Yeah. Bigger than I thought. Sam Ufiri. You got Sam?
God, whoa, man, is he good? I mean, he's good. I mean, he's a player. He's a player, and there's no way you redshirt him. There is no way he's going to redshirt this year. You can forget that. That's another Jacob Roberts in the making.
Okay, hey, hit the Jamaica reggae horn, right? Because give me. So listen. I got a sleeper prediction for you. My guy, I always got like a little pet project. My guy is.
I know who you're gonna go with.
Sincere Burnett, and this guy.
Okay.
I am sincerely, pun intended. I'm sincerely saying this guy is going to be a star. He's a local kid from Grimsley, and if you meet him, it's like he has like that Tim Tebow factor. If you meet him for like 2 minutes, you feel that presence. Like this guy is about something. Just well-spoken leader. He won a state. He helped his team win a state championship. He's coming on as a preferred walk-on, but I'm telling you, he's not going to stay that way. That's my prediction, and I'm always like 1,000% on my predictions. But
there you go.
He I think this guy is somebody to watch. I think he's going to slowly get into that rotation. But yeah, Craig, you're making a strong argument. On paper, this linebacker court is no joke.
It is super, super deep. I mean, it's like one comes out, somebody goes down, you plug another one in, and you don't miss a beat. They are that deep at linebacker. And so, it wouldn't surprise me if you didn't see these guys flying to the ball, coming with a heck of a lot of pressure. There's just a ton of talent out there. I have to give it to this coaching staff. They do a great job of evaluating the defensive side of the ball. They know the style of defense they want to play. They want to play a wide open, come after you, get aggressive, in your face type of defense. And they've put the personnel together to do just that.
And I think to do that, you have to have faith in your back end. Like you can't be aggressive, you can't be vertical if you don't think your guys on the back end will hold up. And so I think if they feel comfortable that they got enough back there to hold down the fort, then they're gonna unleash the hounds, man. And Doug, you know what that means? Dogs. You know what that means? What that turns into? Turnovers.
Yeah.
Turnovers. I want to start tracking how many turnovers we have early in the season, because I think we might.
We were down last year.
We were down last year. But I think we might get back on the record pace with all these guys that's flying. And like I say, and just like the receiver corps, you can't have a bad practice. You can't get in the coach's doghouse you might not be on the field. There's too many guys who are fighting for those spots.
It's a bunch of guys.
Man.
Well,
I think if we're able
makes
to,
it better.
It does, man. And, you know, if we're able to marry that coverage with that pressure up front, man, I think that's when we're at our best. And, you know, we'll get to it this year. We're definitely going to get after some guys, but, you know, we'll see how quick we're able to mesh and get some snaps under us. I know guys look good in the scrimmage, you know, getting the timing right. So we're right here at it. We're 2 weeks out. So, a week out.
Yeah.
And we're ready to roll, man.
So as of today, this is Friday, and we're posting this video, so we'll be at 8 days away.
8 days out.
So travel plans. Are you guys got tickets? About to buy tickets? Have you made? Are y'all suited and booted, ready to go? What's the deal, Craig?
Yeah. I've been ready. Yeah, I'm getting out of here Saturday morning. We're going down with the AAF. The Greensboro chapter's going down there. Taking a bus down there because I don't like traffic anyway, especially weekend traffic.
Right.
And so yeah, we'll be there, and we'll be taking it, watching it like everybody else, and hopefully we'll come I'll save my predictions for next week.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to tip my hand. I don't want to tip my hand because there's some things in the words and I don't want to tip my hand yet.
So Douglas, are you going to be in the building?
Yeah.
You'll be on site. Okay.
We're definitely we're heading down. Going to get out of here Friday afternoon after work as soon as possible. Hopefully the Brown contingency is ready to go. You know, once everybody gets off and ready and packs up, we'll be ready to go. We're heading down. Gonna stay Friday night. Plan on getting together with the rest of the Aggies that are heading over to celebrate and party with the Honorable Merle Code and family. I think they're hosting, the SC Upstate group is hosting, I think a small get together. So they're expecting to have some folks down for that. And then Saturday morning, we're going to get up, head over to the stadium early, tailgate a little bit. And so we look forward to seeing you guys out there. Hope to get some live shots of some of Aggie Nation as we prepare to flood the stadium down in Greenville.
Well, you know, we might need to go on the message board and figure out if we can do like a meet and greet or something too, because you know you guys are social media icons now since over the past week. So you know I might have to have like a little autograph booth here, you know, set up to the side of the.
I'll bring my Kevlar vest.
There it is.
So we might have to do a little fan meet and greet or something down there in Greenville. But and so you know I'll be honest with you. I've only been on campus to watch this team maybe a handful of times. It's like Area 51 over there. They closed off practices to everybody. Right. And I didn't get a chance even to go to the Fun Fest scrimmage. Doug, you were out there, right? So
I stopped by for a moment.
Yeah. Help me out. Give me a little idea of what transpired out in the field last week.
Won't talk too much about X's and O's, man. Yeah. Definitely stepped out there just to be on campus, trying to get a feel for what football season is going to be like. But what I did see, you know, the guys got after it. You know, we were able to get some timing down, get some plays in. Everybody looks healthy. Coaches definitely raring to go. Those guys are in mid-season form. So expectations are big for us. They're huge. The coaches have set the bar high, and the guys are ready to go, man. So, like I said, the guys really got after it. We'll see. You know, we're right here, like you said, 8 days out, and so you know, that's much. I'm trying to keep it close to the vest, man. That's the coach in me. I want to keep it close to the vest, but
trust me,
just know that I saw guys, all three layers getting in, man. Definitely some guys down the depth chart got a chance to get some reps, and just like what you would see in an NFL camp, man, some guys getting a chance to prove themselves and make some plays. Thriller, you'd be happy to know that the quarterback situation looks good.
Oh, I know that.
Mr. Kingsley Fetty got out there and
really?
made some nice passes, man, connected with some first team guys, man. Okay. So I'm excited to see that, man. That's always a good sign to know that, you know, we're sharpening our tools and our weapons are looking more and more sharp every day, man. So time to put them to use.
Well, I'm very much aware that the fans and the coaching staff at Furman are probably hovering over this video trying to get any nugget they can to use their advantage. So we're not gonna.
You'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised.
We're not gonna expose the crowns, jewelry, and all that kind of stuff. But Craig, one thing people do know about you is that you're a fashionista. You know, and so let me ask you this. So you always styling them, profiling. You know, how did you feel? How did you feel about the new blue jerseys that the team unveiled? They have a new script on it. It's not the Aggies on the front chest. Now it says NCAT.
SU.
And
SU.
Yeah,
SU. Yeah.
A&T SU. So that's kind of a change. And you know, the nice little. You give me your whole your opinion of how we look as far as those blue jerseys.
I mean, they're fine. I like them. I like them. I like these better. I mean, you know, I don't care what we can come out there in their polka dot drawers. I could care less what they wearing. Just have some pants on. That's all I ask. But no, seriously, I like them. I like them. I know the hue has changed. They've made them it's a little bit lighter blue. It's kind of a cross between a Kings and a rural blue. That's fine. The kids, they change. Kids like to change up stuff nowadays. I know a lot of us old guys are traditionalists, and we don't like this and we don't like that, and all that. But I could care less. I think we'd look good. I think we'd look good as long as we're on the fat side of the scoreboard.
All right,
that's all I care about.
Let me go back to them. So you have no opinion on the gray jerseys? Are you indifferent?
I like them. I was one of the few people that actually like them.
Okay, so we have a long-time poster on Blue Death Valley named 90 Aggie.
Yeah.
And she hates them.
I know. To each his own. That's fine. Right. I don't hate anything that we wear, but I thought the gray was a nice switch. It was a nice change up. Southern's going to a gray uniform this year. It looks a lot like ours.
Okay.
Alabama A&M is going to a gray uniform. Looks a lot like ours. So we're setting the trend now with this gray. Everybody's trying to go gray. Everybody wants to be an Aggie nowadays.
Douglas, what was the best uniform you guys wore? Because did y'all have the same uniform all 4 years, or did y'all switch up a little bit?
Man, we pretty much had the same style uniform.
Okay.
I'm a traditionalist like Craig, man. I'm used to seeing Aggies across the front, whether it's the throwback royal and yellow look, or if it's the navy looks. But for the most part, I'm a classic blue on blue guy. So I like the new uniforms. They it's different, like I said, with the script, but I think as long as they look good, they fit good. The fit is more important to me. I want to make sure that it's a new age fit, that they're not loose, baggy.
I know you ain't talking. Listen, Doug, I know you're not talking. I was watching a video of you when you were in Vegas.
Listen,
okay, and y'all
had no control over that. All right,
your shoulder
pads, the tighter fit.
Hey, Doug,
my shoulder pads weren't big. My jersey was big. All right,
yeah, that '80s disco look.
Listen,
big shoulder pads.
How you have bell bottom shoulder pads? How you have bell bottom shoulder pads?
those were. I tell you what, my shoulder pads, just so you know, have history behind them. Those shoulder pads were Booker T. Washington shoulder pads, who I passed them down to Mike Ferguson, who had a great career in those shoulder pads.
Really?
Those were some of the best sets of pads that were in the locker room.
Booker T.
Those pads didn't even belong to the equipment staff. They belong to those guys that passed them down. So shout out Booker T. Washington, one of the Aggie greats, toughest receiver to come through A&T for sure. And any guy that played with Booker T. Washington will tell you that. And shouts out to Mike Ferguson, who kind of set the tone for the new age.
That's another name, Craig.
Yeah, that's true.
About Iron Mike. I give you Iron Mike.
Iron Mike.
He was one
you got right.
Listen, he was one of the hardest running. You talking about a business decision? When he came out of there, if he burst through the hole and there was a linebacker or safety, they had to be like somebody said, they had to be right with their maker before they put their shoulder pads down, because he was a freight train. People don't remember.
He didn't have a left or right.
Northern Durham High School.
There was no left or right.
Northern Durham.
No, Northern Durham High School.
So yes, definitely. Well, guys, let's say we're getting close to game week. But before we go, I would like to take a minute to be a little more somber. We lost a great Aggie alumni over the past week, Chauncey Walker Jr. He is one of the most visible alumni band members every homecoming. He's always in front and in the alumni parade section. And he was actually the father of Christy Walker, who a lot of people in the band community might know as Fifth Quarter Christy. And I'll tell you a little story. Christy, she was an original member of the Blue Death family back when we were on MEAC fans. She launched a popular, iconic message board for bands called the Fifth Quarter. That's why she got the name Fifth Quarter Christy. And that predated BlueDeathValley.com.
Yeah.
She actually helped me get started to learn how to get online and put, a website from scratch. We talked for like 3-4 hours one day. She just gave me the ins and outs. Go to GoDaddy, get a domain name, do this and that. She walked me through it. She's been a dear friend since then. She's this past year she got her doctorate, right? So she's always been this mover and shaker, and she was the apple of her dad's eye. Every time I saw her dad, her mom, they would always just brag about her and ask me about, have you seen Christy lately? So he passed away last week, and it's a big, tremendous loss. The whole band community is really, taking it hard, but he'll definitely be there in spirit, and he'll be looking over us this year, and he'll be looking over that marching machine. And we're going to keep moving forward. We do have a lot to be excited about. So once again, there was a sports book in Vegas that was predicting us to be canceled before this episode. We beat those odds, right?
Yeah.
So we're literally playing with house money right now. And guys, I think the response from the first show was tremendous. A lot of good feedback. People are excited about what we're doing. You guys have so much charisma and energy. You make my job so easy. And we're going to keep trying to do this. As long as you guys stay watching and you guys want to hear it, we'll make time to put this out there. We got a few tricks up our sleeves. We don't want to say everything, but we might have a chance for you guys to interact on the show, especially after some games. We're still kind of putting the work, the final touches in that plan. But check back here. Keep on going to the site every day, BlueDeathValley.com. And the show is Inside the Valley. We're going to try to keep putting out weekly every new episode. Craig, you're going to wait. I guess today you dropped the final installment of your season preview, so that's up.
Right.
Doug, I got a job for you too. Doug doesn't even know this is his first time hearing it, but me and Doug are going to sit down. We're going to start looking over game highlights, and he's going to give his expert analysis on a few key plays of every game. So we're going to start doing that. These guys will be super busy. I'm going to be busy. We appreciate your support. Till next time, I'm Samaj Marsh speaking for Craig Turner and my man Douglas E. Fresh Brown. Inside the Valley. We'll see you next week. Thanks.